Hi, I'm Joseph Quijano, Certified Financial Planner.
And I'm Jordan Quijano. We want to welcome you back to our 6-part series of how you can accumulate long-term wealth.
During the first episode, we talked about having a money mindset. And today, we're going to be talking about a very exciting topic, and it's close to my heart, Jordan. It really is, because it deals with the economic facts of life, something that I learned back in the 1970s.
Yes.
That, believe it or not, it hasn't changed one bit since then. That's the scary part.
That is, and this is true facts from the Social Security Department, in other words, Big Brother, that show how destined we are to accumulate wealth. And it shows for every person born in the same year that you were born, how well off you're gonna be. And like my father said, surprisingly, it's scary how accurate they still are 30 and 40 years later.
That is so true, Jordan, because you said it perfectly. The Social Security Department knows whenever we are born, because we have to get a Social Security card. They know when we go to work, because we start paying Social Security. They know when we become disabled or we retire,
Yes.
because they have to pay us, right? And they know when we die, because they're going to give us a measly $250 to bury us.
Which isn't much nowadays. You
No,
really can't
not
get
at
far
all.
with that.
That is right. But those statistics are shocking. Shocking. Because see, they haven't changed one bit since 1970. And if you want to get really serious about building wealth, like the wealthy have done in the past, pay attention. Because of all the people that were born the same year that you were born, you're watching this video, the same year that you were born, only 1% of those people born at that time will be wealthy. And I'm talking about major wealth. I'm talking about like the Bill Gates. I'm talking about multi-billionaires. Now, 4% of all the people that were born when you were born will become financially independent. And that means that you will have different sources of income coming in, so you don't have to continue to work past the age of retirement.
Right. And that leaves, the other 95% that we're about to break down, really not in the same financial realm. These are people who you have 18% that are going to have to continue to work through their retirement years just to keep afloat. And if you don't believe us, I know we all have a Costco, a Walmart, even a Sam's Club. And unfortunately, who is it that's greeting us at the door? The elderly. Is it because they want to work, or is it because they have to work? I always ask myself that. If you want to work, there's nothing wrong with that. But being forced into having to work, that's a different story. And that's that 18% that we're talking about that are continuing to have to work.
And it's really sad, Jordan, what you just said, that the elderly today are forced to having to go back to work. And that's 18% of the people that were born when you were born. And you know what else is shocking? 37% of the people born at the same time you were born will either be dead, disabled, right? Or needing long-term care.
Right. And that's absolutely shocking, because long-term care is one of the biggest risks we all face, whether it's a nursing home, an in-home healthcare nurse, or even Alzheimer's facilities. They're popping up everywhere in today's world. So that leaves only 40% left of everybody born in the same year that you were born in that actually have to rely on the system, family, and friends while they're in retirement. And that number is growing, because it's just shocking how many of us cannot rely on just Social Security anymore. It's not enough money to retire on.
I agree, Jordan. And you know what? It's really sad that those statistics show that only 5% of all the people born when you were born will become financially successful. The other 95%, guess what? They fail financially. Not because they plan to fail, because nobody plans to fail, right?
Right.
You know what happens? They only fail to plan, and that is the problem. And this is why with the Become the Banker strategy, we can help you plan not to fail and get ahead financially.
Absolutely. So 5% being financially independent, financially well off, while 95% don't make it. That is a scary statistic that we are all facing today. For you to not be in that 95 percentile and to be part of the 5% that make it financially, it's really not that difficult. It all starts with how you begin saving money, paying off your debt, and making sure that when you go into retirement, that you have a lifetime income that pays for no matter how long you live. And that's the key. So I want you to imagine a lifeline starting at the age of 0, going all the way to age 100. And there's gonna be 3 sections of this lifeline. The first section will be 0 to 18. And this is what economists call the learning years. This is where you're tying your shoes, going to school, and hopefully going to high school and college. So it could be from 18 to 22. Now, these are the years where you're really not making too much money because again, it's the learning years. The next section, from 18 to 65, this is what's called the earning years. This is where we're making as much money as we possibly can because we're working. And our goal is to always increase our annual income every single year so that we can have the highest potential of saving for retirement. And the last section is what we call 65 to 100. These are supposed to be the golden years, but economists, again, call it the yearning years, wishing we had more. But unfortunately, that 95 percentile that we're talking about that most people fall in did not plan effectively and don't have enough money to carry them through retirement. Shocking, isn't it?
It is. And it's also sad to know that we learn, we earn money, and we wish we would have kept some for our retirement. And sadly, a lot of people don't do that. They don't plan ahead. So tonight, we're gonna share with you a formula to show you why is it that 95% of the people do not make it financially.
Right.
Would you like to know that?
Absolutely.
So what I want you to do is on this imaginary lifeline, is to put an X and tell me your age right there. So let's assume that you are 35 years old. So you're halfway through this earning part of your life right here. So now the next step is to put down an average income that you have made from the beginning of your employment full-time to your age of 35. So how many years have you worked full-time?
That's 15 years.
Put it down, please. 15 years. Now, please tell me what has been your average yearly income over the last 15 years?
You could have started with lower money and now you're at a higher income.
That's right. So let's assume that it's like 40,000 on an average. 40,000. So if you take $40,000 a year, each and every year, times 15 years that you've been employed full time, how much money is that?
That's $600,000 that's gone through your hands.
$600,000. That's over $500,000 that has gone through your hands, like Jordan said. So let me ask you this, people viewing this wonderful video, how much money out of the $600,000 have you actually saved?
And better yet, for your equation, it could be different. Maybe you're 40 years old, maybe you're 45, maybe you're 50, maybe your number's over $1 million. The question you have to ask yourself is, how much have you made over those years? How much do you have left from all those years? And I gotta tell you, for most people, they're very unhappy with how much they've kept. Like in the same example of 600,000, most people tell us they have 0 left out of that, or maybe some secondhand goods. But I gotta tell you, the number's not what you want it to be, and you gotta join the party because we all are kind of sad how much has gone right through our hands.
You know what? We all begin with good intentions, don't we? Yes. So we try to save money. When we go to work full time, we open up a savings account. Yep. So our savings will grow, right?
Yes.
And then what happens? We buy a car. And what happens to the savings?
Goes down.
It goes down. Then what happens again? We begin working again. You meet the boy or the girl of your dreams, the dating, the engagement, the wedding. And what happens to the savings? It goes down again.
It goes up, down, up,
Yeah.
down, up,
So
down.
we begin working now as a married couple, two-income family, earning money, right? So our savings will grow and grow and grow. And then what happens? We'll buy a house. The down payment, that savings will go down. Then later on in life, the baby comes along,
Right.
the savings will go down. Later on in life, college comes along, the savings will go down. And this pattern is what the economists today are calling the great economic roller coaster. Because you see, our expenses, what we spend our money on, does not keep pace with the amount of income that we're making. So at the end, when we reach those retirement years, whether it could be 65 or 72, it doesn't matter, you're gonna have a lot of pleasant memories. Some secondhand goods, but you're gonna be stone broke. So let me ask you this. Would you like to change that pattern?
Doesn't this sound familiar? I mean, this is coming from our first episode from the series, talking about the mindset about money. And if you recall from Parkinson's Law, we had 3 reasons why we're not getting ahead financially. And one of the biggest ones were expenses rise to equal income. Well, guess what? This is hitting home when we're talking about your savings account doing this up and down motion because of expenses always rising to equal your income and keeping your account never consistently growing, always doing this roller coaster effect. So what can we do about this to stop this flow of money going out the door and consistently not growing when you should have it? We look back at that example, a 35-year-old, how many more years are left until the age of retirement? That's 30 years. And if we take, again, the income that you're making right now, and again, let's just assume for that 35-year-old that the income's $40,000. We know that there's probably gonna be pay increases. We know that there might be bonuses, but let's just use conservative numbers. Let's just say $40,000 for the next 30 years. How much money is that gonna be?
$1.2 million that will go through your hands unless you do something about it.
And if you're gonna keep the same pattern that you did with the first 600,000 or the first 15 years of your life, how are you gonna feel if you lose that 1.2 million doing the same exact mistakes?
How unhappy will you be if you keep following the same pattern that you have been following for the last 15 years of your working life? Or would you like to do something about it to change that and achieve financial freedom?
It doesn't take much to be a part of that top 5 percentile of everybody that made it financially well off in the year that you were born. And that's why I want to bring it home. You have to do something different. You have to have the discipline. You have to have the willingness to get ahead financially. This is being part of our second episode of our 6 secrets of building wealth and long-term financial security. And with each one of these videos, they're gonna provide you the tools to take the next step. But as the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. Please take the necessary steps to really take control of your finances and to be part of a successful retirement instead of wishing you had more and being a part of the yearning years that many people are. I'm Jordan Quijano.
And I'm Joseph Quijano, Certified Financial Planner. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this second episode of this fantastic series. We want you to take action right now and subscribe to our channel, like our channel, and please click the link below right now to schedule your virtual interview with us or give us a phone call at 303-779-6600. But we want you to take action.
We thank you.